It's an exciting week here on Scout. A week I've had circled since before we bought a boat. As we set out to travel the world, this is one of the top 5 experiences I wanted to do. I try not to build things up in my head too much. And even with expectations super high, the reality exceeded them. Come along as we explore the South FAKARAVA Pass. We're in the South Pacific, specifically the Tuamotu of FAKARAVA, anchored by the South Pass. It's beautiful here, but there's something beyond the beauty that draws many visitors. The South Pass of FAKARAVA is one of the premier dive destinations in the world, though its remoteness limits the number of divers that make it. There's a very small village in the pass with a couple of dive operators. We're not going to use the help of professionals, though. It's not an easy decision, as the pass has current flowing in or out at almost all times. The way the dive is typically done is to motor to the outside of the cut, about here, and then drift in on an incoming tide. At 40 to 70 feet deep in the cut, the current is usually manageable. But if you stay in the water to the split, here, it gets much shallower and the current really starts to move. You want to be sure to decompress before this point. I got PADI certified in Bonaire and did a fair amount of diving there. Scout is self-sufficient when it comes to diving. We have 2 sets of dive gear and a dive compressor on board. As you've seen in the last couple of videos, I've been teaching Megan and the kids to dive in French Polynesia.
A little bit scary.
It is.
But we did a few more practice dives around the boat before tackling the pass.
Look at me, let's talk through it. What are you going to do to go down? Yep. Okay. And then as you're going down, you can control your descent. Just, you can kick if you're going too fast. Okay? Don't worry about the sharks, bud.
Hey, look, somebody just came up from the dive over there.
That's a distraction, Megan.
Oh, sorry.
We're going to do okay, okay, and then we're going to do down, down, okay? All right. Yay!
There's a bunch of cool fish and there's a bunch of sharks.
Oh, did the sharks leave you alone?
They came pretty close. They didn't bite us.
That's good. So I have a little confession to make. I'm afraid of sharks. And today, T-minus 0 seconds, we are dinging over to the South Pass of FAKARAVA. And I'm about to go scuba diving with hundreds of sharks. If that doesn't cure me of my fear of sharks, hopefully it won't kill me. Wish me luck. I'm so nervous. Fingers crossed that this goes well.
It'll go well, Mom.
Shark dive at South Pass FAKARAVA. What was your favorite part?
Wow. I mean, of course, you can't not see the sharks. They were incredible. Just being able to bask in the magnificence of those animals. They're so serene and so calm. And just being able to float there right by them. I got really close to one and, you could just make eye contact. That was pretty awesome. But I have two other things that I loved about that dive. We swam with 4 big Napoleon Rossies. They're huge green fish that have huge lips and this big bump on their forehead. Massive. And I swim right next to one, and they really have like this oscillating eye that looks at you. That was so cool and so otherworldly. I'd never seen a fish like that. And then my final thing is, after the dive, after you get out of the pass and you're still floating in the current and you are just flying over this amazing, magnificent carpet of coral, all different colors, purples, white, blue, pink, green, yellow. And on the surface, it doesn't look like you're going that fast, but when you look down, you're just zipping past and just a sea of beautiful tropical reef fish right under you. That was really, really cool too. So I loved a lot about it. Just getting in and committing to doing the dive was really hard for me. I was really nervous. I mean, I would say like an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm not an experienced diver, and we were doing the dive, unsupported, just Nate and I, no guide or anything like that. I was super nervous to get in, but once I got in the water, all the fears just kind of drift away, and you're just surrounded by totally being in the moment.
And now it's Karen's turn. Let's see how it goes.
We're choppy out here today. Did you check the regulators?
No. You ready, Dad?
Yeah, he's ready.
It was at the very beginning, just as we went into like the big shark area. There's a lot of sharks, and I didn't think there was going to be that many sharks. There's one time when I was going down and my regulator came up that I was kind of scared, but other than that, not really.
Hey, Karen. High five, bud. How was it? Good? Yeah.
Okay, so me and Dad just went scuba diving over the pass, and now Mom and Dad are going, and we just have to wait. And it's gonna take them forever. We're not allowed to go on the boat, so it's gonna take forever of waiting until they're ready.
Yeah, so we're just sitting in the dinghy waiting here for them to be done.
Diving's done. It was amazing, as always. I think that was my 3rd time and my most favorite. Just definitely felt the most relaxed with the sharks. They were beautiful. Saw at least 3 or maybe 4 different species of sharks while we were down there. I felt the most in control. I feel like my diving skills are getting better, which is awesome. But anyway, long story short, we are done, and now it's time for some cleanup. I've got a whole sugar scoop full of gear that I gotta rinse off. Now to rinse the most important part.
What? No, guys. The most important part is yet to come. My spray off.
I'm getting squeezed.
All right, we're going scuba diving.
Are you feeling nervous?
Yes, I'm definitely nervous. liked seeing the sharks, but the fish and the coral were amazing too. I don't know, I would probably have to say the sharks though. Maybe like a 2. You have to be aware of the sharks and you have to know that they're wild animals and they're sometimes vicious, but I wasn't really scared of them, so the dive. I would definitely recommend it. It was beautiful. One of the most magical things I've ever done. Probably actually the most.
My favorite part was the sharks. I loved just being close to them, and I loved seeing them, but also getting up to where they could feel your presence. And it was peaceful. You could tell no malicious intent there, but I love it when they were aware of you and you were aware of them. A close second is doing it with my family. I loved having Megan out there with me, and then especially the kids. I thought it was so cool that I was able to share that with them. I was not scared of the sharks at all. On a scale of 1 to 10, 0. So you have to respect them, but I don't think you have to fear them. I was nervous, I won't say scared, but I was nervous about taking the kids down there with me. The drift dive was reasonably technical. We held hands. There were times where if we'd gotten separated and they'd had an issue, it might have been hard for me to get back to them. That was the danger, and that's what I was concerned about, not the sharks. Since we've been in French Polynesia, we've been having a lot of discussions about what the next steps are for Scout. The goal has been to get to New Zealand and then see how we feel there. Well,
Best laid plans.
as of now, our plan is not to go to New Zealand.
What?
Yeah.
Where are we gonna go?
We got out in the Pacific early. Sort of sets us up for the around the world schedule of weather windows. So we're gonna look to not jump south to New Zealand, go straight, more straight across Vanuatu, the Coral Sea, and then hit Australia, do a little bit of boat work there, and then in the end of the year, keep pushing up to the Malay Peninsula. We're in Thailand is where we think we at this point would like to be at the end of the year. How you feeling about that?
We do love journeying. That's one of the things that we found out crossing the Pacific. We love being out on the move, seeing new places, getting to the new places, the journey itself. So in that sense, I think it makes a lot of sense for our family. I just wish we could have the best of both worlds and stay in these beautiful waters forever.
And there's fundamentally a trade-off of how long you stay in each individual place versus how many places you see. We don't know exactly what kind of a window Scout has for doing this, but it is a window. It's not decades and decades. And in that window, I would really like to see more places.
I worry a little bit about passage fatigue.
With regards to passage fatigue, one thing we've been talking more and more about is looking to take on some crew.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of miles, several long passages in there. We're gonna post a short, our first ever short, so look out for that with a little bit more details there, but we are thinking about taking on crew for some of the passages.
Come sail with us to exotic locations. That's what I'm excited about. I mean, look, I could stay here in French Polynesia forever if I was allowed, but I'm also excited about going to some of these more exotic places and seeing more of the world. That's why we're out here. Go scout it out.
That's right. And just to be clear, the French government's kicking us out. We are, as much as we're talking about moving fast, we're going to spend almost our entire 3 months of allocated visa time here in French Polynesia. So
that's right.
It's not just meanie Nate.
No, it's meanie French government.
Yeah.
And meanie Nate.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for watching.
We hope to see you next week as we sail to the 3rd island chain in French Polynesia.